Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here. Again, I'm Mike Mathews. I've been Manhattan Beach's superintendent since July 1st of this year. So I know, well, I think I know some things already, but I'm learning a lot more. I really appreciate the invitation.
You have to hold that very close to your mouth.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I do appreciate the invitation to be here with you. As Margot said, you guys are truly ambassadors for what we do. I was at the hometown fair in Manhattan Beach this weekend, and I was actually being thankful of our realtors in town because so many young parents came up with preschool-age children who had just moved in to our community. And you know, we know how many kindergartners going into first grade, but it's always a big mystery how many kindergartners are coming into our schools next year. And thanks to the work you're doing, young families keep moving in, and so our schools stay full. And our schools are, whereas other schools are declining in enrollment, Manhattan Beaches are staying steady. So what I wanted to do today very briefly is give you some background on our schools because I think it benefits you. I'm guessing that you can brag about the places your clients are moving into, and it certainly does well to give you the most accurate information possible. So I have a presentation. I'm going to kind of race through it. I hope that Sunny can forward that to you if you want these details themselves, and feel free to use it as you please. You also should have in front of you this one-page summary of what we do, who we are, and you can use it for facts as well. You have my contact information as well, so if there are questions or concerns you're hearing, please feel free to call me about that. So I'm going to kind of race through some of the, I'm not going to go over all these slides, so that's just for your background there. Our vision statement, please go ahead. And so our board this year is looking at just the budget itself. Guys, you know it's a problem. Other districts have had to cut massively. Class sizes out the roof. Our class sizes are really strong right now. They haven't changed that much. Margot being here and the Education Foundation are a big reason for that. But with your clients, you can tell them, hey, Manhattan Beach's class sizes, in spite of how crummy California's budget is, have stayed low. I mean, they compared to everybody else, they're extraordinarily low, and parents love hearing that. We communicate quite a bit. We have a Twitter page, guys. You want to follow Twitter, MBUSD News. Okay, so we have that information. You can get the most recent updates on there. Next one, please. Things we have that other schools don't have. We have science going on in every classroom in the elementary school. That's gone. With the California budget cuts, that's gone in most places. We have reading specialists still. Our libraries are still open. We have computer programs going on. We have elementary music still in our schools. Again, those things in most places have had to go away. We've kept them in Manhattan Beach because of all the work we're doing. We can even focus on our grades of green. We recycle, we're thinking green, we're doing all kinds of stuff with that. And so it's exciting still. With the Obama's plan and the No Child Left Behind, many places just focus on basic skills. We're way beyond that in Manhattan Beach. Next one, please. All kinds of technology in our schools. Again, parents love seeing that. These smart boards that are out there, phenomenal. The document cameras that are out there, unbelievable what they can do with that. We have microphones in every classroom so every student of every ability can hear along the way. And we're starting to use telepresence. We're going to have, this next semester, we will have teachers in China teaching our middle school kids Chinese. You know, they'll be up at 4 a.m., right? Which, I guess that's their problem. But our kids will be at 8 a.m. and probably still sleepy, but they'll be listening to that with a teacher in the classroom helping them along the way. It's a very exciting thing that we're doing, starting Chinese here, and we hope it will go up through the system as we go along. So again, it's beyond Skype. You know, it is real telepresence technology going on with that. Next one, please. Again, wellness going on. We have, we're focusing on the whole child. You guys probably heard about the Beach Cities Health District and their Vitality City plan, where they're spending $2 million trying to increase the health of every South Bay resident out there. Pretty exciting things they're doing with Beach Cities, and we'll be a big part of that as well. A lot of parents talk about drugs in high schools. I mean, it's a reality. I've been a high school principal for 11 years, dealt with high schools for a long time. It's a reality. However, our main thing, I think parents' main thing is give your children a reason to say no. And when you can do that by talking about it constantly, we bring in dogs for our high school and middle school campus. It's an interesting sight to see, those dogs coming in. And when they do the training thing, I'll guarantee it scares the heck out of some people because they can find amazing things. However, the idea is, if a child has a choice to bring something to school or not, it's nice for them to be able to say, I got a reason not to do that. I'm going to choose not to do that. If you don't say anything about drugs, your message is, it's okay. If you say something about it, your message is, watch out, people are watching you. We want to watch that's our whole community, folks, that's you too. We want to be very careful about that as we go along. We still have counselors. In middle school and high school, again, people are striking things everywhere in California. We still have a lot of counselors in our schools. We have great programs for special education. We've had our problems in the past with that, but now we have, autism. It's a major thing in this nation now. It's rising up there. We have programs to deal with that, where they have interaction with their peers. All kinds of clubs and sports. Jim will tell you our band program is phenomenal. I hope you're on Jim's email list where you can hear all about that. If you're not, I'm sure he'll let you get on that. Our athletic programs are remarkable. You see on here, ESPN ranked Miracosta as the 15th best high school in the nation in sports. Come on, that's pretty good. If the four-letter network says we're good, we must be good with that. Our band just won a major award for their performance this past weekend as well. It's all over. Successes again and again and again with that. Okay, next one, please. Margot is up here talking about the Education Foundation. I hope you get a clue for how good that is. No one does that, to my knowledge, as well as Manhattan Beach. I come from Santa Monica, Malibu. I was there for 17 years. A principal at Malibu High, and then an assistant superintendent over there. And what those parents do wonderfully, like in many wealthy communities, is they support their schools. They give their PTA. And so what you have is some schools who have a lot, and some schools who have less. We don't do that here in Manhattan Beach. What we do, the Education Foundation has trumped the PTAs, and the PTAs are great with that. And they say, let's give to the Education Foundation to make sure all of our schools have great access, great programs for kids. And the people in the PTAs are saying, we support that, and we'll give volunteer hours to our schools, but the money will be the same in all the schools. It's a wonderful idea, and it takes a lot of egos being kind of calmed down to let that happen, because people often want to give only to their school. We have figured it out, and I'm so proud of that. And your $10,000 you just gave will not go to one school, it goes to all the Manhattan Beach schools. And by the way, thank you for being what in essence will be seed money, because we'll use you guys quite a bit, right? We'll be bragging about you guys quite a bit to bring in more business as we go along the way. Chamber of Commerce does great things for us there. We have our booster clubs and athletic foundation. We don't spend one dime of taxpayer money on sports now. I mean, it's come a long way. I'm not bragging about that. That's just the nature of the budget now. And so we have an athletic foundation that does all of that for us. They pay they raise the money for coaches, equipment, travel, all those things. It's pretty amazing out there. Next one, please. So and people always think it's a real misguided notion. Wow, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, all that tax money goes right to those schools. Not true. Tax money goes to Sacramento. They dole it out equally. And so the reason we are having these programs still is not because of taxpayer money. The taxpayer money is equally spread out. It's because of donations and a great deal of commitment with everybody with that. I'll go ahead with that. I think come back later on. Thank you. Next one. And next one, you can get that later on too. I don't want to. Check this fact out too. Yeah, I'm an administrator, right? Therefore, I'm evil. But you hear it sometimes out there. But we know that the primary reason kids get support is in the classroom. So look at this stat here. So look at 2001, 2002. We had, you see the number of students that stayed pretty stable. 320 teachers at that time, and 26 administrators, 382 classified staff, custodians, classroom aides, secretaries, that sort of thing. So go 9 years later. We've kept the same number of teachers, right? We have slashed by a third, I guess that's a fourth, our classified staff, and we've almost cut in half our administrators, all right? I gotta tell you, it's thin. It's very hard to get things done. There can be more support in our schools especially, but the primary focus in our district is on the classroom and what we can do. It's Other districts have furlough days too. You've been around that where they have 5 furlough days, 8 furlough. None in Manhattan Beach. We've figured out a way to keep all those things from happening. So we've cut and cut and cut, but the classrooms have stayed focused with that. Next one, please. Our test scores continue to be great. You have there our test scores when compared to similar schools with our parents with same educational background, our parents, I guess wealth would be the number we use. We are above the average in every one of those categories. So, don't compare us to the state of California. We're a much wealthier place than that. Compare us to similar places, and that shows you we do very, very well with that. Parents want to know that. Next one, please. Look at Maricosta High School. We are so proud of Maricosta. 7 years of continuous growth, and near 900. They're almost in the top 1% of high schools in California. It is great stuff. And people worry about the high school, right? Our high school is performing very, very high. I love that chart. That's too detailed for this short presentation, but so our basic stats that you can be touting out there for us. We are 3rd in the state compared to K-12 districts. We beat Palo Alto this year. I know that superintendent, very happy about that. I used to live in Palo Alto, so I'm thrilled with that one. And so we're behind only San Marino and La Cañada. It just lets you know that compared to the, I don't care where you are in the state, Manhattan Beach is on the map. Maricosta High School, top 1.3%. And remember, many of the schools we're competing against are magnet schools where kids can only get in there if their test scores are really high. Well, of course they're going to do well, right? We take all kids who live in our area, and we do very well with that. Grandview and Pacific named distinguished schools last year. We go to all kinds of colleges. And we have a kid in every Ivy League school right now. Stanford, of course, the UCs, all the schools that are out there. Next one, please. Each school's API, that's the score you all see, exceeds that of similar schools. Our middle school is doing better. And one thing I love too, science scores are going crazy in our schools. We have science now, like I told you before, where other schools don't. They are really excelling. And I think the reason we're actually pushing up so much throughout this system. So science continues to be pushed. I think that's it. Next one, please. We've managed to keep low class size, managed to keep elementary science. Our libraries are open. We have counselors. We have reading support. We have music. Parents want to hear that. We're very proud of that fact as we go along. And so again, our education foundation, $4.5 million, and that is we don't have a partial tax. I'm not saying it's not a good idea. It makes things a lot easier, but we don't have one. It takes 2/3 to pass that. But the Education Foundation is wonderful. Our PTA support us incredibly with money and their hours. The Athletic Foundation does as well. And we have our own group going to Sacramento saying, change the laws to make things better for schools. We know money's tight in Sacramento, but we are advocates for ourselves. Yes, one more. And then I have out there, and you can get this in email, just contact information for each school. So I hope I didn't take too long out there, but any questions you might have?
For this gentleman.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much.